Welcome back to the Fut-Afrique channel. My name is Mofekeng, still joined by Timothy Batabaire. The first segment, we're all talking about nothing else but a bit of a background story around Timothy Batabaire. He has actually gone about his business in South Africa, trophies he has won, and also this particular one because he holds this one dear, given the fact that he was part of the French team for Bidvest. He spoke about how they did it, how they managed to win it, and how when they got to the final, they managed to wrap things up. Now, we have teams that are coming up, Timothy. For the first time, they find themselves playing in the Nedbank Cup. NB La Masia played their first game. They played against Mamelodi Sundowns, a team that has won the competition 5 times already in the history of the competition from way back from the 70s to now. Sundowns champion 2022, before Pirates won it now. Sundowns winning by 6-1. A lot of changes to the team they played in a game against Pirates, but I still managed to get the job done. Serena in particular getting a hat-trick on a day.
I wouldn't like to say many changes. When you're a player of Mamelodi Sundowns, you must be ready when called upon.
Yeah.
So in such a tournament, you are lucky to be selected because the arsenal that they have at their disposal is so great. You are mentioning Serino, Mashego, my boy, Dennis Onyango in goals. These are supposed to be first-team players. So at Sundowns, there's no first-team player. All players are first-team players. In the first 20, 30 minutes, you could think there's that bit of rustiness, no game time, but oh God, the talent. Now, for the player of Serino's caliber, he was sold a story that he would move to Al-Hatli with his former coach, did not work out. He strongly believed into that. He wanted to force a transfer. Sundown said, no ways. You are not at any cost going anywhere. So right now, from his display, we understand and we can see that he has made up his mind to be a Sundowns player. You look at the goals he has scored. Oh my word. The second goal, what a finish. Yeah. For me, in those moments, you're looking at the arsenal that they have got. Yes, they had moments of weakness in their defense. You could see that they are telling because they believe that La Masia was just a team that they could take to the cleaners. But when you're playing teams like Masia, you should not concede in principle as a team. You should not concede because you take the game to the La Masia likes.
1-1 draw between SuperSport United and Cape Town City Football Club. Also, we had the same story, Highlands Park against Cook United. Yeah. SuperSport United and Cook United winning those matches via penalties. What do you make of those results?
SuperSport United, Gavin Hand, is a coach that, yes, he has won trophies. Yeah. But for me, it is how he goes about his business to discover those rough diamonds and make them real diamonds.
Chandra Campbell is another one of those.
And selling them at the highest price. Yeah. You are looking at this team of SuperSport United. Remember, he's coming back home.
Yeah.
And he's setting up a good team. You've got Stan Matthews behind the scenes developing that team. You've got the likes of Grant, goalkeeper coach. They are within that. They have got a wonderful. You have got a Rainsy. Yeah. You're talking about the best goalkeepers going through their hands. And then they come up with this team under the likes of Eric Tinkler. And then they have got that victory. I'll tell you right now, they now believe that they can go and win the championship.
You talk about a goalkeeper, Grant Johnson. He's the man that was in a Bafana team that eventually won bronze medal via penalties. Ricardo Goss was part of the squad. Remember him advising Ronan Williams which way to go when Trostekong was taking the penalty. He saved 2 penalties, got himself man of the match. What do you make of that combination that is coming up there from a goalkeeping department?
The camaraderie. When you see defenders interacting with each other, you see goalkeepers interacting with each other, it shows that no one is the best.
Yeah.
It's a matter of knowing that Brian is good at his craft. Yeah. I can learn from Brian. Brian shares his views. I listen. We share each other. You know that it's only when you are called upon. No one is the best. And that's what we're seeing in that lineup.
University of Pretoria against Ennens Middendorp, Cape Town Spurs, who just won by 3-1 in the last game against AmaZulu. They come into this cup tie, sitting bottom of the log standings. Was it a matter of priorities, league versus cup ties, or it was just University of Pretoria just slightly better?
When I watched Cape Town Spurs, I really understood what it means by preparation. I understand why a coach demands that he needs precision with his team.
Yeah.
In that game, I witnessed Middlesbrough having had a hand in the team preparing it.
Yeah.
Their goals were all in this spark counter attack. This boy is a Pesedo. Wow, the finish. He is a player who is defending right at the end of his goal and is willing to get onto his bike to run into the channels, blind spot of the defenders, and hopping and receiving a cross to finish it up. This team, Cape Town Spurs, if I'm in position of Middlesbrough, win your next game and it will have a telling effect on the next game. I think Cape Town Spurs is a team to watch.
Indeed, Buchaka had a wonderful game in the previous match also, where he managed to find the back of the net. Cupido finding his scoring boots once again, but that was in a league. They're out of the Nedbank Cup. By the way, Hans Benendorp still looking for a trophy in South Africa, by the way, official trophy.
Yeah.
When we talk about that, so you remember TS Galaxy in the final in 2019, they won against Kaizer Chiefs. He was in charge of that particular team that particular year. Let's move on now to matches that are coming up. We've got 2 matches tonight. It's a repeat of what happened last week. Golden Arrows, this time, up against TS Galaxy. They're at home against TS Galaxy. They lost their last game by 3-1. Mofekeng saying that the mistakes they've made and how they've gone about their business, things will be slightly better. They know where they went wrong before they went into the break. That continued now into the year. How do you think they want to play? And Stellenbosch, the champions of the Kali Knockout Cup.
Yeah.
How do they play against Pretoria Careless in this match?
Mamuti Kajeza, I think, is being a little bit kind with his words to try and propel up the teams. I've been a player, understand when you play in Bombera, you travel whatever kind of transport they have used.
Yeah.
It has a telling on the players. I think they use the bus.
Yeah.
And then you go back, you have lost 3-1. The team that has won has to get immediately into Durban to prepare for that game. There's something telling. There's something happening at TS Galaxy. Coach Reid Ramovic, we have got Etafia, we have got Ashiri with the development team.
Yeah.
There's something great happening in that TS Galaxy, if you take notice. The way they played and went about their business against Golden Arrows, I will tell you that everything was planned. The team, the players know what they are doing. They created those chances to score them.
Yeah.
The mistakes that Coach Mabuti Kanyezi of Golden Arrows is talking about is not being honest. His team was forced into those mistakes. They were not his own players creating mistakes. TS Galaxy players caused those mistakes for his team. One, they need to score the goals. I can tell you, TS Galaxy, under the chairman of Tim Sukazi, has assembled one of the good teams. If you see this team play, the tactical awareness of the players themselves, it means, for me, they understand. You've got the striker that was at Chiefs, I'm forgetting his name. Norkovic.
Yeah.
If you look at his takedown on the ball and his finish, he's hungry to score goals, and indeed he scores. It's a team well balanced. It's a team to watch.
Is indeed the Team Sugazi doing very well at TS Galaxy, the man in charge of the team already, owner of the team, by the way. Also, you can see the ladies' team doing well in the Holu's Best Super League. Stellenbosch FC, spoke about them. They are the champions of that is a Kali Knockout. They got to the semi-finals of the Nedbank Cup last season, got into the semi-finals also of the MTN 8 before eventually winning the Culling. How do you see them faring against Pretoria Careless?
In my observation right now, Stellenbosch is that team now is grooming talent for this country.
Yeah.
And for the clubs, the big clubs,
Yeah.
Pirates, Chiefs, Sundowns.
Yeah.
Big teams don't groom players. They get the best, the cream of the cream in the country.
Yeah.
Stellenbosch is doing that. But what they have done so well under Baka is that get hold of your cream of the best players and sell them at the right time. So it is a continuity. It's not surprising that they have been in the final so often and eventually won the trophy. Good things are happening at Stellenbosch, well-balanced team. They have got, I think, their books well done, the sponsorship and everything like that well done. They are able to run the team as it is. They are a team to watch.
Got beautiful facilities for training. I mean, I went there to actually see. Bafana came there as well. Very beautiful in Stellenbosch. But also talking about Baka, it's a trophy that he lost at University of Pretoria when they played in the final against Morocco Swallows in 2009, a year before you guys went on to win the trophy when you were playing for Bidvest Vets. Let's talk about Saturday. You can actually join the conversation, by the way, that is on the Fut-Afrique channel. Give us your predictions. Who do you think will advance to the next round of this competition? Use our different social media platforms. Get involved in the conversation. Do you see a Stellenbosch, for an example, advancing? Do you see a TS Galaxy manage to get to the next round? And who do you think will win it overall? You know, let's get involved. Let's have a conversation around it. Let's look at Saturday. Saturday we have Ravens against Spain. Those are teams from the SAFA leagues. You got JDR Stars against Hungry Lions. Now, the one I want to talk about to you, three matches in fact. Let's start with Platinum City Rovers against Morocco Swallows.
Morocco Swallows, Platinum City Rovers. Platinum City Rovers would believe that they can take on Morocco Swallows and beat them, given what is happening in Morocco Swallows, which I do doubt. They can use whatever is happening in the media. The coach has just been, they have separated, they have had an amicable divorce. That is Coach Steve compared with the Morocco Swallows. So much is going on. For me, what is important is the players understanding that it is their jobs on the line.
Yeah.
They have been fired before.
Yeah.
And some of them have been lucky that management has reached out to say, listen, yes, we fired you.
Yeah.
Can you come back home?
Can you explain to me what happened there? What is the story you got from the team, or something that came out as a fact? Because we're given so many stories.
There are so many things to learn from this. I will take the position of a player. Players, we need to understand what we are signing for.
Yeah.
Yes, we have got agents.
Yeah.
Agents represent us. You give the instruction to the agents to represent you. Kindly take notice of what you are signing for and read. Your contract says you are supposed to be paid at the end of the month, 31st. When you make a request to be paid earlier, it's not a right. It's dependent on your employer to decide that yes, we can consider your request or not.
Yeah.
So when your request is delayed, it's not a guarantee for you to go on strike.
But were the players wrong not to trust the word of the management when they said we'll try and do it or we'll do it, given the fact that there were spats before that with them being played late for the previous 2 months?
Brian, life has taught me that trust is built over time. It's not a one-time thing. You build trust.
Yeah.
You are right not to trust. I don't care about that. So management was saying, we are looking into it. It's upon the players to believe the management or not. They chose not to trust management and went on the strike against their contract.
Were the players right? Were the management right to fire them?
They were right under those conditions because
were the players right to not go to a game?
They were wrong. Okay. You cannot go on strike against your contract obligations.
Discussion will get involving. Tell us what you think about this, because I believe when I'm sitting, I'm saying, you know what? Trust is end. Once that line is gone, recovery is impossible most of the time.
Brian, trust is built over time, not on your request immediately.
You know what I'm saying? When you have already done the wrong thing to me a few times.
Yes.
I'm not going to start trusting your word. Your word doesn't mean much anymore.
Which is okay, but it's upon you to manage your trust issues.
I see now Team Proby's got a few players at Swallows. Crystal Lake up against Orlando Pirates. This is a team that's playing in the SAB League. They're up against Orlando Pirates. And Richards Bay against Polokwane City. Your take on those ones?
Look, Richards Bay, they are struggling at this moment in time. Polokwane City has got a win, after the AFCON. It's always, when a team is coming after a long off, like we have had for the AFCON, there is always both teams struggle for that touch to get into this. So Polokwane City gets the victory against Morocco Swallows away from home. They still believe they can, beat Richards Bay. In this moment in time, Richards Bay needs to make sure that they win the game. When you win your game, it's going to have an impact going forward to maintain your status in the PSL.
So Richards Bay should be more worried about winning this game to build the momentum of winning.
It's very, very, very important. You cannot go into a game of a high magnitude of the PSL
Can Crystal Lake upset the Orlando Pirates, the defending champions?
I'm always protective of my feelings. There is no way Crystal Lake is going to beat Orlando Pirates at this moment in time. Orlando Pirates has now started having a feeling of victory, of being a champion.
Yeah.
There is no way Crystal Lake can spring a surprise in this one.
So you got a few matches on Sunday. That is Maritzburg United against Paarl United, NC Pros against Chipa United, the General against Madristas. So there at least you guarantee to have a team from a lower league advancing to the next round.
Yeah.
Now, the one that wraps up the last 32 matches, it is the record champions of this competition. But you got to go back to 2013, the last time they won it, Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
They're up against Milford FC, a team that's playing in the Mutsube Foundation Championship.
Yeah.
Both teams come into this game having played goalless draws in the last matches. Chiefs when they played against Royal AM, Milford also played there is a draw in their game. How do you see this one going?
For me, it's very important. Kaizer Chiefs at this moment in time, you know, as players, I had a mentor of a coach who says, you need to buy cotton wool.
Yeah.
Put it into your ears. Don't listen to the press conferences, to the noise. Cut it out and then focus on your game. What is important, and I'm a student of that, whatever you do on training, if you do it right, there is no opposition that can stop you. And for me, it is very important for Kaizer Chiefs, for their players to understand that they take a game as it comes. There is no way Milford can beat Kaizer Chiefs. Take your history away out of this. We have just finished African Cup of Nations. Records have been broken. There is no way Milford, I put my head on the block, there's no way Milford can beat Kaizer Chiefs in this one. But one game that is going to be very interesting is Chippa United. The chairman of Chippa United takes out a press statement saying he is supporting Nigeria ahead of South Africa because his player is in that team.
I knew there was
this
one
one,
come up at some stage.
NC Pros versus Chippa United.
So you're going to support NC Pros?
It's a feeling. We can learn from the chairman.
It is indeed Timothy Batabaire. He's the man that's already won this trophy. So he'll come back. Probably he's going to come and brag wearing his green jersey, green top to show that, you know what, I've won this before.
No, you only get that as man of the match.
Oh, so you're going to bring your medal here around?
The medal is framed. It's framed somewhere in my living room. So that's a constant reminder to my kids.
So what do you want to bring as a show to show that you actually won this trophy? What do you want to bring here for us next week, depending on what happens?
I'm listening to the offer. Then we shall agree on that.
We'll see what happens going forward. So that's how we wrap it up for today. Do subscribe, get involved. Let's have a conversation. Do you think the team believe will go through, or do you have another opinion? Let's keep conversation going.